Not all mutants in comics are considered superheroes. While many mutants like the X-Men use their powers for good and are seen as heroes, others might be anti-heroes, villains, or simply individuals trying to survive in a world that fears and hates them. Mutants are more often referred to simply as mutants, rather than being universally labeled as superheroes. Their roles can vary widely depending on their personal choices, allegiances, and the stories they are part of. Number 10. Forget-Me-Not. Forget-Me-Not is a mutant whose ability ensures he is instantly forgotten by anyone as soon as he's out of sight. This strange power makes him an invaluable, albeit unrecognized, member of the X-Men. Despite playing critical roles in key missions, no one ever remembers his contributions, not even Professor X, who had to set up a mental reminder just to recall Forget-Me-Not's existence. His curse-like power leaves him in a constant state of isolation, as relationships are fleeting and memories of him vanish. Forget-Me-Not represents one of the X-Men's most unique and tragic characters, though he's barely remembered even by fans. Number 9. Lifeguard. Heather Cameron, known as Lifeguard, possesses an adaptive power that allows her body to morph in response to any danger. If she's drowning, she'll grow gills. If she's falling, wings will sprout from her back. This versatility should make her an indispensable asset, but she never managed to secure a major role in X-Men lore. Her brief time with the team, coupled with her sometimes unremarkable appearance in stories, left her forgotten by many fans. Lifeguard's potential is immense, yet she remains largely on the sidelines in mutant history. Number 8. Maggot. Maggot's digestive system manifests outside his body in the form of two slugs named Eenie and Meanie, which break down matter to feed him energy. His ability is as bizarre as it is unique, making him one of the most outlandish mutants to ever join the X-Men. Though he was briefly a prominent character in the late 90s, Maggot's strange powers and quirky personality didn't catch on with fans. After his short stint with the team, he faded into obscurity, appearing only in minor roles or as a background character. Despite his unusual gifts, Maggot is one of the most easily forgotten mutants in X-Men history. Number 7. Adam X. Also known as Adam X the Extreme, is a half-alien mutant introduced during the overly dramatic 90s era of comic books. His powers are linked to blood. He can ignite oxygenated blood outside the body, causing his enemies to burn from within. With his edgy design, spiky armor, and backward cap, Adam X was supposed to embody everything cool about the era. However, his convoluted backstory, combined with the overly extreme persona, led him to be one of the most ridiculed characters, quickly forgotten by readers. Adam X remains a symbol of 90s excess in comics, a time capsule of a forgotten era. Number 6. Marrow. Marrow's powers allow her to rapidly grow bones from her body, which she can then use as weapons. A former member of the underground Morlocks, she joined the X-Men with a tough, rebellious attitude, and often clashed with her teammates. Her character added a gritty, street-level element to the X-Men during the 90s, but she never reached the iconic status of other team members. After some personal growth and an internal struggle with her violent tendencies, Marrow quietly exited the team and has rarely been seen since. Despite her unique abilities and intense backstory, she's often left out of major X-Men discussions. Number 5. Cipher. Undetectable, making him a perfect spy for the X-Men. Not only can he hide from sight, but he can also go unnoticed by telepaths and sensors. Though incredibly powerful, his abilities have kept him in the background, both in the comics and in the minds of fans. Even within the X-Men's ranks, few remember he's even there, as his missions are covert and often leave him unrecognized. Cipher's potential is vast, but his forgettable nature, both in-universe and with readers, has made him one of the most overlooked mutants. Number 4. Stacy X. Stacy X is a mutant who can control pheromones, affecting the physical and emotional responses of others. Her background as a former mutant prostitute made her one of the most controversial X-Men members. Despite her provocative powers, Stacy X struggled to integrate into the team, often feeling out of place among more traditional heroes. After a short and tumultuous time with the X-Men, she disappeared from mainstream comics, reappearing only sporadically. Her complicated and risque background may have contributed to her being largely forgotten, but she remains a unique entry in the X-Men roster. Number 3. Skin. Skin, whose real name is Angelo Espinosa, had 6 feet of extra skin that he could manipulate to his advantage, giving him limited shape-shifting abilities. As a member of Generation X, he had a rough exterior but carried deep emotional scars, struggling with self-acceptance and the grotesque nature of his mutation. Despite his tragic backstory and relatable struggles, Skin was often overshadowed by more powerful or charismatic mutants. His eventual death in one of the more brutal X-Men storylines cemented his status as a largely forgotten character. Skin's bizarre mutation and untimely demise make him one of the most overlooked mutants in X-Men history. Number 2. Mimic. Mimic can duplicate the powers of any mutant within proximity, allowing him to replicate the abilities of an entire team. While his power is immensely strong, Mimic never found a permanent place among either the X-Men or the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. He was often portrayed as a tragic figure, torn between heroism and villainy, and never quite fitting in with any group. His powers were so potent that they even overwhelmed him at times, yet despite his potential, Mimic has appeared in relatively few storylines. He's one of the more powerful mutants that most fans tend to forget due to his inconsistent role in the X-Men universe. Number 1. Magma. Magma, born Amara Aquila, has the ability to control lava and volcanic activity, making her one of the most visually striking mutants. As one of the founding members of the New Mutants, she should be a central figure in the X-Men mythos, but she's often pushed to the background in favor of other characters. Her Roman-inspired backstory, where she believed herself to be from an ancient lost city, added a unique mythological layer to her character. However, her infrequent appearances in major story arcs have caused her to be forgotten by many comic fans. Magma's powerful abilities and rich lore make her one of the most underutilized mutants in the X-Men universe. How many of these forgotten mutants do you know? Do you have a forgotten mutant that you wish made more appearances? Let us know in the comments. Miss these unsung mutants? Check out how you can get comics and products that feature these and more. And hit the subscribe button to be a part of this exciting series.